Well, hello again. All right. Um, what was my topic? Okay. So today's topic, I wanted to talk about how to kind of restart astrology for yourself. Make it sort of your own thing. I know that there's lingo for astrology, but use this as a kind of a guide to help you understand more. What I mean by this is if you use, let's say, you go back to the mythology. Get a feel for the mythology. Watch movies if you want to. There's lots of movies that have been made about it. If you look at, let's say, um, what's that one? Even like TV shows where they talk about the gods, if you're talking about Apollo, if you see that in a movie, type in like literally Apollo. So we're gonna do it together. By the way, welcome to my channel. My name is Jose. I do a bunch of different things, but I am actually kind of known as the asteroid guy. So, because I work with like over 100 asteroids, and it's super fun because it's so detailed, and I love giving detailed readings for people because it really helps them a lot and sort of like, oh, that did happen. And then for those people who have accessed their past lives, they realize, oh, or the things that they're doing now, oh, it's sort of like a light bulb moment. There's evidence showing. So that's what I love about it. So, anyways, going back to the whole thing about um, what was that? Mythology. So we're gonna go through. Let's see here. So if you look up, let's say, mythology, myth in movies. Let's say we do this, right? It's quite simple actually. So let's say I don't know, let's go to Screen Rant. Okay. And so you see how there's Hercules there. You see how the stuff he went through. For those who done their mythology stuff, you'll see. Read through it as well. So the Odyssey, that's not one that I know of particularly. Spartans. Oh, the TV show Spartacus. Um, That's an asteroid, by the way. If you want to use that, go ahead and use that. Create your mythology for that. Troy. If you want to use the asteroid Troy, you'll see the place. It's tied to the story. Mm, let's see here. Antigone. Okay. So if you like these old movies, Antigone, that's fine. You can do that. Romulus and Remus. I'm not sure if those are in asteroids. Let's see here. Immortals. Okay, so these ones are the gods. There's several of them. There's also the Egypt thing. I think it was, I forgot what it was. Uh, Egypt, gods of Egypt. Yeah, gods of Egypt. I'll show you. So if you type that in, hopefully you can actually hear me. Great, good, awesome. Okay, so this is about gods of Egypt, mainly between Horus and Sethos. That was a big story there. You can see played by Gerard Butler, and then I forgot what this actor's name is. And then there's other gods there too. But the main one have been here. Ra is there too. That's an asset. Apophis is included here. There's a bunch of stuff here too. You can go back to the other stuff like the Greek gods, those are common. Hercules, okay. So you see Orpheus, okay. You can watch movies or you can go straight into the mythology, right? You look at the myth, right? Um, you look at, let's say, is it gods here? So let's start with Greek. Greek is the one that's predominant, or even not just Greek, but Roman. Okay, well, I guess it's just Greek. So they're kind of similar, right? Okay. You see how there's different gods here. There's a list here. Greek Olympians, Athena is there, Poseidon, okay? Zeus, Prometheus, all those things. But you'll see how they coincide with the planets, their story, but also the astronomy of the planets. Now, the astronomy stuff might get a little, but the astronomy still applies. For example, here's a funny one. Did you know that the sun has a lot of oxygen in it? I'll show you. Mm, it's kind of boring for some people, but Pardon. Okay. So if you look at Wikipedia, mhm, you'll see its composition. Or was that one here? Composition. You see that? Right there. Hydrogen. 73.46% hydrogen. Now, if you look into the heart, you'll see also that the heart is also, it pumps hydrogen or something like that. There's something about the heart's hydrogen. Because in astrology, the sun rules the heart. Um, okay, so it carries oxygen, but there's still an application. It's still connected because if you think of it, look at this, 0.77%. Okay, that's not a lot. I don't think it's about the number, but it does connect to the mythology. There's something about it. I haven't done my full research on this one. I did write it down somewhere, but that's just an example of how deep and you go if you are into that stuff. Okay. So you can go into the mythology, you can go into let's come back here, right? You can look at all those images. So you go from the sun, so that's usually Apollo, or Helios. Okay, you go into the Greek myth with that one. For the moon, you go with there's three. There's Diana or Artemis, and there's also Thea. Okay. So the moon, all those things could just apply to what the moon is. And then you have Venus, sorry, Mercury, which is represented by Mercury, or um, 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 what's his name? Hermes. Then Venus is Aphrodite, Mars is Aries, okay. Jupiter is Zeus, Saturn is Kronos, Uranus is Uranus in Greek mythology, but also Atlas. Watch a lot of mythology stuff. Just enjoy it. If you look at the TV show Shazam, the TV show, the movie, the one that came out recently, some of you might like that. Yeah, this one, with directed by David Sandberg. Okay, you'll see. You talk about the gods, actually Shazam too. So make it fun. Okay, and you'll see that there's a correlation between what the myth says with what you have. So write down your notes. If you're going to study anything, make your own thing. Write down your notes. So I would say probably start simple, like write down like the sun, right? And then go into um, list down the qualities. Just list them down. Just go straight into that. It's like I think the sun represents this, and then go with your own feelings. Go with your own like, what does the sun represent for you? That's a big one, right? And then compare it to the notes you get from the books you get. Okay, I showed you there's a book. There's one by um, Judy Hall. It's called Astrology Bible. Okay, it looks a lot like this. This is kind of what it looks like. Yeah, this one right there. Okay, so download that, get a copy of it. If you really feel like you're being pulled to astrology, go ahead and start. Just start and apply it right away. Open up your own circles, talk to people, talk to your friends. Start with your own birth chart. Look at the evidence that you see there, what you have. It's like, oh, this is what I feel my identity is. That's the sun. This is how I usually feel. Go with that, with the moon. And then go through the planets and then go through the houses that they're in. Where do they apply often? If your sun is in let's say the eighth house, you might have a sort of a unseen self. Like you feel like you transform you have a lot of things that whatever you're it's quite dark with the eighth house, but simple things I could say, okay, let's say the sun is in the second house, right? The sun is, let's say, in Gemini in the second house. You feel very energized when you are vitalized or revitalized when you communicate. And that becomes kind of like how you earn money. Okay, so that's a simple thing. So you see how it's all connected. And then work with the aspects, right? Go with the feeling about it. But that's for another video. Okay, so just start, go get your source, work with the mythology. I would say create your own to make it worthwhile. The reason why I'm saying go with the mythology is because this is how it started. Okay. Astrology is an art form, astronomy is a science. Both were being used in the past to create something beautiful. And I think it's beautiful because it is a form of divination, just to let you know. Um, yeah, so that's my little thing. Go with the mythology, and that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any comments below, write it down. Please like and subscribe. I will see you guys later. Oh, excuse me, I'm a little gassy. And thank you very much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.